Welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today, representatives from the Arc of the South Shore will be joining us to chat about their organization and about their upcoming fundraiser later on this month. First, though, we check the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, it's beautiful, brilliant sunshine, a comfortable 70 degrees right now. Today will turn out picture perfect, mostly sunny, comfortable with highs in the upper 70s. Tonight, partly cloudy, and lows drop off into the upper 50s, really kicking off a pretty nice stretch of weather for most of the week. Just a few more clouds around tomorrow, but staying dry with highs into the mid 70s. There's just a chance for some afternoon showers, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm on Wednesday. It'll turn a little more humid with Wednesday's highs into the mid 70s, and then for summer-like here, starting on Thursday, warm and humid, highs Thursday into the lower 80s. Could be even warmer than that on Friday, but it should stay dry through at least the end of the week. Again, sunny, 70 in Quincy right now. Checking news for you today, the Quincy City Council Finance Committee recently completed its review of the proposed $424 million city budget for the next fiscal year that begins in July. When reviewing the fire department's budget, Chief Joe Jackson said special attention will be focused on training firefighters to combat blazes that are sparked by lithium-ion batteries, both in electric vehicles and personal electronics, including wheelchairs.
Commissioner Grazioso and I, we have to get together to talk about where some of these cars or some of these batteries, the standard procedure right now is to overpack them in a drum, and there's a particular product called cell block that you will pour into the drum and cover these, the batteries, and you'd seal the drum and bring it probably down to like an isolated part of the DPW yard, or would have to identify a place in the city. One of the problems with these lithium-ion batteries is these damaged batteries that have been subject to fire, they've ignited 30 days later. They're just totally unpredictable. This gentleman who was in the unit at 95 West Squantum Street, he said as soon as he plugged the wheelchair in, it wasn't like a thermal runaway type of thing where it was just left in for too long. As soon as he plugged it in, it was the 4th of July in this guy's unit. It just started to self-destruct right in front of him. So it's very concerning to us. So.
Jackson also reported that the expansion of the West Quincy Fire Station is well underway, and the department will receive a new ladder truck early next year and a new engine later next year. Jackson also said there are currently 191 uniformed Quincy firefighters in the city. The City Council did approve the $32.2 million budget for the fire department unanimously. The Massachusetts House last week passed a $6.2 billion housing bond bill aimed at creating more affordable housing across the state. The legislation includes a provision that would allow so-called accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, in areas that are zoned for single-family housing. State Representative Tacky Chan of Quincy says those units would still have to comply with local ordinances.
One of the more controversial things that we're talking about in caucus and number of members is the accessory dwelling units, or the way they're referred to as in-law apartments. I did a year in the zoning board here before I got elected. Those issues did come up, and I'm going to tell you right now, they're not easy to build. An in-law apartment is not easy to put in your home. There's a lot. You just have to comply with setbacks. You have Conservation Commission issues. It can be very expensive because it has to be an in-law. So we're going to allow it by right on a permit for anything less than 900 square feet. But by right only crosses the first barrier about a zoning issue, whether or not you're allowed to do so, but it doesn't take away all the other requirements. For example, you have by right to build a deck, but you still need a building permit. You still have environmental issues depending where located. You still have construction requirements.
Now, the bill also includes $1 billion to expand the MWRA water distribution system to areas across the South Shore to help facilitate increased housing development. That bill now heads to the Senate for further debate. Friends of the Ruth Gordon Amphitheater here in Quincy have a very robust schedule of events planned for this summer. City Clerk Nicole Crispo says that representatives were before the Board of License Commissioners seeking approval last week.
Sarah Khaled was there, and Jay Southwood was also there, talking about the Friends of Ruth Gordon Amphitheater schedule, food trucks, Blacks Creek, tacos, ice cream truck. Jay Southwood will be doing the beer from Break Rock. Looks like they have a full agenda. Certainly all went through the Parks Department, and all these dates were secured with them. And we got a motion to accept 5-0.
The Friends have a variety of musical performances planned for Friday nights beginning on June 28th, running through August 23rd, except for July 5th. They'll also host a day-long music festival on Sunday, August 11th from 2 to 8 p.m. featuring live performances by 12 bands. Well, of course, it's high school graduation week here in Quincy this week. Tonight, graduation ceremonies for North Quincy High School will be held at Veterans Memorial Stadium. That's followed tomorrow night with Quincy High School's graduation ceremonies. Both ceremonies will be held at 6 p.m. Both will be live right here on QATV. Tonight, North Quincy High School Principal Dan Gilbert will serve as Master of Ceremonies. Quincy High School Principal Keith Ford will be MC for tomorrow night's graduation. Each ceremony will also include performances by their school's respective choirs and the combined Quincy-North Quincy Band and the Quincy-North Quincy Wind Ensemble. Mayor Thomas Koch will bring greetings from the city. City Council President Ian Kane will deliver greetings from elected officials. And Tina Cahill will have a message from the school committee. Course Superintendent Kevin Mulvey will present the graduates for their diplomas. Congratulations to the class of 2024 from all of us here at QATV. It's our check of news for you today. Coming up, the Arc of the South Shore preparing for their Summer Soiree. We'll learn all about that next. Welcome back. Arc of the South Shore is celebrating its 73rd anniversary this year, and they have a big summer soiree coming up later this month down in Weymouth. So CEO Abigail Parrilla is here, and also Chief Engagement and Strategy Officer Brenda Linden is here to tell us a little bit more about the organization and how you may be able to help them and at least have some fun at the soiree. So ladies, welcome. Thanks for coming over.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure. We were talking before the program, Arc of the South Shore has only been around for 73 years, but we've not had you here on QATV yet, but we're going to change that starting today. Right, Abby?
Absolutely. The time is now.
Yes, absolutely. For folks who don't know, even though we have been around for quite a long time, can you give us kind of a little overview of what Arc of the South Shore is?
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure. So the Arc of the South Shore has been around since the 1950s, but it's also important to note that arcs are national in nature. So we're across the United States. There's 17 of us in the state of Massachusetts, and I have the honor and privilege of representing the Arc of the South Shore.
Okay.
It's also important to note, Joe, that we started as a social justice movement in the 1950s, where parents had two choices for their children: institutional placement or keeping them at home, neither of which was a viable option. And that was the inception of the ARCs. And I get the privilege to represent those parents every day and stand on their shoulders as we grow programs, advance our advocacy and community integration.
Yeah. Is ARC, and was it an acronym for something, and it's kind of just become kind of an all-inclusive title now?
That is true.
Yeah.
So we at the ARC support individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, including autism. Now, the inception in the 1950s, it was an acronym. It is no longer an acronym.
Okay.
It is now a title or a phrase. So you'll notice that we're not capitalized anymore.
I do notice that.
Yes,
yeah.
and sometimes people make mistakes, and that's okay. That's what I'm here to do, educate.
Right.
So it is capital A, lowercase r, lowercase c.
Okay.
It is a title or a phrase and no longer an acronym.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that. It just it goes to show how social norms have changed since 1951.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we denounce that R word that was previously capitalized. It is now intellectual and developmental disabilities from a place of empowerment.
Right. Can we talk a little bit about the actual services that the Ark
Absolutely.
provides and how one accesses those?
For sure. So what's unique and special about the Ark of the South Shore is that we serve the lifespan. So no two Arks are quite the same.
Right.
We have the honor of representing the lifespan. So we start with our early intervention program. Those are our babies from birth to the age of 3 with any developmental concern. We put in services to help the families navigate. Sometimes it's something as simple as low birth weight, or it could be a developmental concern. So our clinicians go out into the home and work with the families to navigate that diagnosis. We also have a rehabilitation program for our more medically complex individuals who need medical care, social recreation, and all of that is provided in our rehabilitation program. We also have a community-based day services program for our more high-functioning adults, and they go out into the community and they learn life skills. We have employment services where they have a right to gainful employment. So I'm always saying there's so many ways to support the ARC. Those are our flagship programs. We also have an adult foster care program where a caregiver is paid a stipend to provide care in the home. We have a personal care attendant program known as the PCA-PCM program, self-funded autism resource center to meet unmet needs in the community, 10 group homes where we provide 24/7, what I like to say, TLC, tender loving care, as well as, you know, medical care and everything you can imagine that goes into providing those types of services.
Yeah.
So.
So how do you and your clients connect? You know, how does that connection happen in the community?
Sure, I always say there's no wrong door at the Ark of the South Shore. Always go to our website,
Yes.
which is www.arc.southshore.org. Connect with us and we'll help you navigate.
Okay.
Right? That's the best place to start.
Okay, all right. And who can do that, Abby? Who can access services?
Well, anyone who falls into any of, one piece is needing services. I always say, if you need services, come talk to us. You could be a caregiver that needs help navigating. You could be someone that's getting information for someone else. You might just need information and referral. You might need an immediate placement. Start with us and we'll help you navigate the regulatory bodies.
Okay.
Because we are funded by a number of different regulatory bodies. There's the Department of Public Health for our early intervention program, the Department of Developmental Services, DDS, for our, you know, group homes and rehabilitation program, and there's also Mass Health. So take the guesswork out of it, come to us, we'll help you navigate.
Okay, and do you typically get folks from referrals from physicians or primary caregivers or
Yes,
social
I mean, it's a
workers?
whole continuum of
Okay,
care
okay.
in terms of how we get referrals. So you have the hospitals, you have the schools, word of mouth, family members,
Family?
friends.
Okay, sure. And how does one pay for services through the Ark of the South
All of
Shore?
our programs are funded through regulatory bodies. So
Okay.
either the DPH, DDS, Mass Health.
Okay. So it sounds like there really is no restriction.
No, there isn't.
yeah.
I mean, you have to qualify for services.
Obviously,
So
right.
that's why I say, as long as you qualify, we'll help you navigate what makes sense,
Yep.
given your circumstance or your need. And our self-funded Autism Resource Center, the
Where is
ARC.
that, by the way? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's right at in Hingham
Okay.
at 20 Pond Park Road.
Okay.
We're actually looking at a new facility as we speak,
Ah.
which is exciting,
Okay.
so that we can be more involved in the community, to have more parents have access.
Yes.
And that is at no cost
Okay.
at all. You don't need to qualify for any insurance.
Wow.
We provide that service through the Ark of the South Shore.
I guess we shouldn't not talk about the people behind the Ark of the South Shore. That
So
they're your
important.
service providers, right? Must be incredibly important to the heart of your mission.
Tremendously.
Yeah.
I say this and I coin this phrase, and it's the reality. It's about the superstar employees that
That's right.
really help us support our, our wonderful workforce that we have and the individuals we serve. It's about the staff I support every day
Yeah.
and the individuals I serve. And they're not mutually exclusive,
Right.
because you need to have a dynamic workforce that can support what I say every day, my beautifully and uniquely abled population.
It's a special person that can do that, right?
Correct.
Both to receive the services, but also to give them.
That's right.
Yeah, because it affects an entire family. It's not just your clients, right?
Absolutely.
It's an entire family. that
And I
you're
say
working
it's
with.
holistic in nature
Yeah.
as well, Joe. This work is mind, body, and soul.
Yeah. How did you yourself get involved with the Ark of the South Shore, Abby?
So in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
I was working in the for-profit world. I had a calling to work in the elder care space. So I spent 11 years in elder care.
Wow.
And at companies known as the ASAPs, Aging Services Access
Sure,
Points,
yeah.
and I loved my work there. That's what brought me into the nonprofit space. I always say I have a heart for social service and a mind for business, so it's really good to be in a CEO with that mentality, CEO role. And then I dovetailed that into the passion I feel for the intellectual and developmental disabilities space, including autism. And that was like the marriage of my soul's work and my soul's mission.
You found it.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah.
I really did.
The Holy Grail, as it were, right?
For me, it is absolutely. You get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's great. I know that you want to kind of increase your presence here in Quincy, right? The Arc of the South Shore is based
Absolutely.
in Hingham, is that right?
We're based, our offices, our administrative offices are based in Hingham, but we provide services throughout the South Shore. Our rehabilitation program is in Weymouth, our community-based day services is in Weymouth, our early intervention is in Weymouth,
Okay.
but our catchment is throughout the South Shore, including Quincy.
Sure.
So all of our services are available to Quincy residents. I'm working on some smart technology and increasing our group home space to include the Turning 22 exclusively autism population, group homes for them. I'd love to have one in Quincy.
Oh, all right. Okay. So how many?
I'm putting it out in the universe.
Put it out there. You never know. Do you have any sense for how many folks you help on a yearly basis?
Almost 5,000.
5,000.
And growing.
Okay. So since 1951, then what?
Now we're over 100,000 served.
Yeah. Do you get success stories back?
All the
from
time.
folks
It's
who've
what
gone
keeps
through
me on
ARC?
mission.
Yeah.
It's what drives me when you hear like about, the success stories, but the grateful parents.
Right.
And the grateful individuals that are so happy to be part of the ARC and receive those necessary services.
Sure.
That's why my job is to keep it innovative.
Yeah. And I'm sure they give back too, right?
They do.
Yeah, over the years, if they've come through the services and want to help ARC continue that mission.
Absolutely, and for us, I say give of your time, your talent, and your treasure, because there's so many ways to become a friend of the Arc of the South Shore.
And one way is through your Summer Soiree.
Yes.
Let's see, this is the annual Summer Soiree, June 20th at Webb State Park in North Weymouth. Brenda, talk a little bit about what this event is.
Yeah, so it's located at our day programs over in North Weymouth. We put up a huge white tent on the shores of Webb State Park, bringing a host of different restaurants from the South Shore community. And we have an individual that lives one of our group homes. He's a guest speaker for the evening. We have live entertainment, great live and silent auction items, and it's just a great night for the community to come together and support all of our efforts.
Yeah, it's called the Signature Event, so this is
Our yearly, yep, this is the
fundraiser?
11th year holding
11th
this.
year,
Mhm.
okay. Do you know how it all got started?
I started it,
You started
actually.
it.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were doing a dinner dance type thing at Lombardo's and just saw the beautiful location of our day programs and thought, why not bring the people here?
Yeah, overlooking the bay, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's beautiful,
Summer
yeah.
evening. It's from 6 to 9 that evening. Again, it's June the 20th. So can you kind of run down the evening for us, the schedule of events?
Yeah, absolutely. So people arrive at 6 o'clock. Our restaurants are set up and they're serving tasting portions. Drinks are available, and for the first hour or so, it's really just being able to mingle with business associates and things. And then we start the program with our guest speaker. We also have performers from the Berkeley Music Academy, a jazz ensemble that's all-inclusive.
Nice.
So they'll be playing during the beginning.
Okay.
We show a video of what we do, our mission and programs, and then break into our Fund a Need and live auction.
Okay. Who's your auctioneer?
Jim Fagan.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And then he's also going to have a sidekick with Liam Martin.
Oh, no kidding.
We'll be helping him with the Fund a Need.
Oh,
so
very
we're
good.
looking forward to having the both of them.
So let's talk about some prizes and
Yep.
items and what have you been on? Yeah.
So we have some great live auctions. We have some fabulous Bruins tickets with a signed Cam Neely hockey stick
Really?
and limo service.
Okay.
We have a private dinner with Chef Wahlberg. and then also a dinner package with JP Fuji Group.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And limo service, all kinds of Red Sox tickets, outdoor grill and packages put together. So there's pretty much something for everyone.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Absolutely. Yeah. Do you still need items to be auctioned?
We absolutely could
Okay.
take items. There's still opportunity to become a sponsor.
Sponsors? Sure. Okay. And-
So if people are interested,
Yep.
I think you have our website
Yes,
up there,
sure, yep.
and they can contact me directly.
Okay. And how about for tickets?
Still available. Just go online and you can purchase tickets that way.
Okay. And how much are the tickets?
It's $175 a person.
Oh, okay, very good. And can we talk a little bit about, do you have a goal for the event? And what
Yep,
the
we're
funds are
hoping
used
to
for?
raise $250,000.
Okay, and is that earmarked to anything in particular at the South Shore? or-
It helps with our self-funded autism program,
Yes, yeah.
our other programs that we have to put money into because we don't get
For example,
enough.
that self-funded
Yep.
Autism Resource Center to provide information and referral at no cost.
Yeah.
This helps to fund that as
I
well.
would think huge,
Yeah.
huge part of that budget. Yeah, it's a registered 501c3 corporation, so
Correct.
donations are all tax deductible. We should mention that as well.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
And Brenda, I'd
Important
love
to
for you to tell your story about how you got involved with the Arc of the South Shore.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I've been with the ARC for almost 11 years now. I was in the nonprofit space with an organization based in Boston. And one of the board of directors at the time had mentioned that they were looking for a director of development. And lo and behold, it was right down the street from my house where I lived. So I could walk to work for
Oh,
my
very
first few
nice.
years. So. Yeah, so I started and just really love the organization, the people that I work with,
Yeah.
the individuals that we serve, and yeah, it's since kind of grown the development department into a much bigger fundraising machine.
Sure, sure. Abby, what would you say are some of the challenges going forward for Arc of the South Shore that you see coming?
Well, I really look at them as opportunities because I overcome challenges,
Okay.
Joe. Well, you know, you're always faced with the funding streams.
Certainly. yeah.
Although we have federal and state funding, it falls short of the true operating costs of an organization of this size and
Yeah.
scope. I say that wherever I get the opportunity. I give you a very relevant example.
Okay.
In our rehabilitation program, for example, we're reimbursed to pay under $10 an hour for our direct service professionals. The Arc of the South Shore, we pay $20 to start. So that just gives you a breadth of the type of work that I have to work on constantly, which is legislative advocacy,
Right.
rate reform, and fundraising. I call it my three-legged stool, three-legged horse, where I always have to focus there to fill some of the funding gaps. I think that that is an area of concern moving forward, an area of opportunity. But events like June 20th really help us supplement those deficiencies. And then I have to stay relevant, as I mentioned to you, with innovation and advocacy at every level. And you can't do it alone. It takes wonderful employees like Brenda, who have helped me expand our brand awareness, philanthropic reach, as well as the other 249 employees that I support at the Arc of the South Shore. We do it together, a wonderful board of directors that's also very supportive. So you need support in this.
Absolutely. Are there other ARCs in Massachusetts?
Yes,
There
so
are.
there's 17 of us in the
17
state,
just in
cover
the
kind
state.
of every little pocket.
I see. Okay. And do you work together collaboratively?
We do,
You
we
really?
do. We work
Yeah.
under the umbrella of the Arc of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We meet monthly on legislative efforts, advocacy, sharing best practices. So we do have that support network.
Absolutely. Brenda, for the soiree, do you need help? Volunteers?
We could use some volunteers during the day setting up.
Yes.
If people would like to help, then they can
The
contact
behind-the-scenes
me.
stuff, right?
Yep, the
Yeah.
behind-the-scenes stuff, which there is a lot of.
And people don't remember or think about after the fact. You have
Yep,
to
clean up.
break it all down and clean
yep,
it up, right?
Exactly, yep.
Yeah.
I have a nice team of young adults in my neighborhood that walk down and volunteer every year to help with the cleanup.
Is that right? That's great. Is the town of Weymouth helping you with this as well? Is this or just state property?
We work with the DCR in the town of Weymouth for our permits.
Okay. For folks who've never been to Webb State Park, it really is quite stunning.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, you get a great view of Wessagusset Bay right in front of you.
Yep, and it's so wonderful that the individuals have that every day when they go to their program to be able to go out and enjoy the park. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else we should add?
No, it's a wonderful evening, and we would love to see people.
Is there a
join us.
deadline for ticket purchases?
No, we'll keep them up as long as we still have them. We did sell out about a week before last year, so I would say
The time is now.
the time is now.
It's coming, yeah, it's coming, June 20th. Abby, anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, please join us. I say become a friend of the Ark. Start with coming to this event. I would say volunteer, come to see our programs, come to our events. This is a wonderful, whimsical evening under the tent for a very, very worthy cause. We empower people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, including autism, to live their fullest lives in the community through advocacy, community integration, and preserving their autonomy and self-determination. So just come and visit us.
I bet the guest speaker portion is quite emotional and highly moving when you hear somebody's story who's come through the program.
I believe so.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you both. Really appreciate the opportunity
Thank
to learn
you.
about the
Thank
art.
you. So happy and grateful for the opportunity.
You are very welcome. Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. What you see is what you get out there. Lots of sunshine and comfortable temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Nice night this evening under partly cloudy skies, upper 50s. Kind of a repeat tomorrow. Just a few more clouds. A little more humid here on Wednesday with a chance of an afternoon storm. And then we're into summer-like weather starting on Thursday with the highs in the lower 80s. Thanks again to Abby Parrilla and Brenda Linden for joining us here on the program from Arc at the South Shore. Thanks to our crew. Thank you for watching. Friday here on the program, The Car Doctor. John Paul from AAA Northeast will be joining us. Meantime, check our website anytime. It's qatv.org. You will find our latest programs there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.